And we are live. Are we live? Where is my camera? Why is my camera not working? I just got a green screen. That's weird. I don't know how to fix that. Turn the camera on. Okay. That's not working. So I don't know what's wrong with my camera, bro. What's up with the camera, bro? So I got 0 viewers, but anyway, welcome to anyone who's watching the show. We're going to watch the show in reruns. I am trying to figure out what is going on here, but I can't seem to get my camera to work, and it's just too weird. It's just absolutely completely weird. I'm going to try to. What if I delete the overlay? What'll that do? Maybe that'll give me my camera. Will that give me? No, it will not give me my camera back. Okay, that's frustrating. Well, anyway, this is kind of appropriate for the title of tonight's show. If you think about it, I titled tonight's show "Unfollow Me," and the reason why I did that, of course, is because most of you shouldn't be following me. You don't understand what I'm saying or why I'm saying it, and it's I guess people come here, hoping for some sort of anti-Semitism or some sort of racially insensitive commentary. By the way, smash up the like button. Even though I don't have a camera, I don't know what's with the camera. I have no idea what's wrong right now, but my camera is not working. I just see a green screen. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but I just see a green screen. So since you have nothing better to do right now, smash up the like button. You know you want to. Let me see what else I got here. No, that's tell me anything. So yeah, what if I click that? All right, now I took my name off. Do I have a camera now? Still no camera. What is up with that? Hey, StreamYards, bro, what is that? I don't understand. Layout. What if I just click that? Cinema layout. What if I did cinema layout? Try the camera now. Still no camera. Wow, this is I don't understand why that is. I absolutely do not understand why the camera is not working. I'm going to go into settings and click camera. Camera 2 facing back. What if I do that? No, the camera's just not there. Camera is just not there. Camera 1 facing front. Mirror my camera. Heads up, if you have an overlay that covers a lot of your screen, you might cover yourself. If you're having issues, try restarting your I don't know. Let's one more time. Do I have a camera? No camera. Wow. This is frustrating. Doesn't somehow seem to be my fault. I don't know whose fault it is, but we will have to go on the avatar, and I'm fingers. Well, I can still play the videos, but it's just you're gonna have to. You will be denied my visage. So, all right, what are we talking? We talked about a bunch of stuff in the last couple of weeks, particularly that Malaysia flight 370, and how the elites are willing to kill, hundreds of people to gain a lousy $1 billion. I mean, $1 billion might sound like a lot of money to you, but to the people who sent Malaysian flight 370 to the bottom of the sea, $1 billion is not really that much, but it just goes to show how far they're willing to go for relatively small gain. But yeah, so here we go. Today is what, the April 25th, I think it is. We're in the 25th. We had 420 this week. which I call Pothead Christmas. But before that, we had 419, and 419 is a more significant date in a lot of ways for telling you what type of regime you really do live under. And 419, 1993 was the date of the Waco massacre. And there's a mashup I got here. There's a video. It's a minute 17. That's from a organization that I personally support financially. But here, take a look at the a little reminder of 419, 1993.
A 45-minute gun battle this morning took 5 lives.
More than 150 ATF agents had come here armed with search and arrest warrants.
Telling their children and women in here to call it off. It was not the correct decision.
In the opinion of the agents, this was done for the purpose of publicity.
The code name of this operation was Showtime.
Is there a consideration to use psychological warfare?
I don't know what psychological warfare is.
We were lied to.
Not one agent made a written report of it. That's highly irregular.
It also had many omissions, distortions, and false statements in it.
As soon as the Range Davidian Star David flag had fluttered to the ground, they ran the ATF flag up on that flagpole.
The record from Waco does not evidence any improper motive or intent on the part of law enforcement. Government did not do that.
Okay, I got an idea of what's wrong with my camera. And I think I just I've taken too much bandwidth up. And so I'm going to delete all these, because I have like 50, 60 videos up here that I think I'm maybe just taking up too much of StreamYard's bandwidth. So they're not going to let me use my camera. But if I just delete enough videos, who knows, maybe they'll give me my camera back if I ask nicely by just deleting and deleting and deleting videos. So I'm doing that.
Okay, now here's a news article. Digital Currency Initiative, Project Hamilton.
Out of there. We're deleting that. That's being deleted. It's being deleted. Not being shown. It's being deleted. Okay. Just keep going. Just keep deleting. That was a good trailer. Search. So I'm hoping by deleting the amount of bandwidth I'm using in StreamYard that maybe they'll give me my camera back. Will they give me my camera back? Let's take a look. Stop! God damn it! Still no camera. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. They're not letting me have my camera. What's going on? I think it's because I'm using too much space on the.
Most people don't know that we're in a system change.
Try to delete these things. Try to delete the ones I don't want, and only keep the best of them. But it's just not gonna. I don't think it's gonna work out though. So.
Did you guys know about this? Because I did not know about this. Apparently, the Bitcoin white paper is hidden in every modern.
Very good. Very good. I'm just still deleting videos, hoping that this will. No. Let's see. Do I have a camera now? Still no camera. What is up with that? I do not understand why I have no camera.
What keeps me up at night is that there are so many mainstream influencers, so many
So I don't know. Dudes, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what is going on. I have no idea what is going on. I cannot figure out how to make my camera work. I thought it was like a bandwidth issue, but it doesn't seem to be that. It's something else. It's something else, and it's really, really kind of interrupting my flow. Really interrupting my my mindset.
Money is the highest form of energy that human beings can channel.
Delete video. Okay, let's try the camera now. Still no camera. Wow. So I got 3 viewers. Welcome to the 3 viewers, by the way. But the reason why you can't see me is because StreamYard won't let me use my camera. I don't know why they're doing that. I think that they're doing that just to be challenging to me, just to we have to overcome this. And I'm deleting, like, I cannot tell you how many videos right now.
You are not going to believe what I found on the website for the digital pound on the Bank of England.
Yeah. Just get rid of all this stuff. I'm just really looking to dump all these videos because I think this is what's causing the problem, right? So you can see the avatar, and I know that the mic is working, but is the camera working? Camera's still not working. Man, that pisses me off. Wow, that really, really. Oh, and I just fucking deleted the fucking video that I wanted to show. Oh, this is making me unhappy. This is making me unhappy. All right, we're just gonna have to go forward with what we got. So where should we start? Let's start with what is sound money? That was a pretty decent clip. This is about a minute long. This is that Canadian dude. He's got very good hair, and he's going to explain what the concept of sound money is and how it relates to you today.
Money sure feels broken these days, with everything costing exponentially more and wages never keeping up. But at one point in US history, wages, goods, and the dollar actually maintained consistent purchasing power for nearly 100 years. A lot of people credit this to sound money. Sound money is a reference to the old systems of money, where coins were literally made out of precious metals that made a sound when dropped on any hard surface. Those verifiable and scarce metals gave sound money a free market value outside the political and arbitrary decisions of central bankers today. Since the advent of the Federal Reserve in 1913, the US dollar we use today has lost nearly 99% of its purchasing power. But unlike today's dollars, sound money has maintained nearly all of its buying power. In 1964, minimum wage in the US was 5 silver quarters. If you were paid those same 5 quarters today, minimum wage would be worth $23.24.
So how's that? That's pretty interesting, no? If you're making less than $23 an hour, you're working for sub minimum wage, and I'm guessing that the majority of the country is making less than that. 5 silver quarters is about an ounce of silver. I think an ounce of silver right now is like a little higher than $23, maybe like $25. But had wages kept pace with inflation, those people at McDonald's screaming for $15 an hour, they're not asking for enough. You know what I mean? They think that $15 is sufficient as a minimum wage, but they don't understand inflation and they don't understand what's been done to them. So 4/19, a very bad day where the federal government showed that it's willing to kill American men, women, and children to enact anti-constitutional laws. And then, of course, there's Pothead Christmas. So there's a Pothead Christmas story. There's Pothead Bitcoin. There's a lot of potheads in Bitcoin. But there was I didn't realize this back in the days, there was the Great 420 Caper, which is about a minute long video. And this is that the Bitcoin Shorts girl, real pretty girl. And here, listen to see what happened on 420 back in the days.
I have a story for you that involves one of the biggest stolen fortunes ever in the Bitcoin protocol's history. And it happened on 420. 11 years ago today, the infamous dark market Silk Road held the Great 420 sale and giveaway. Like many marketplaces that exist, like Etsy and eBay, reputation of the seller mattered, and no one had a better reputation than Tony76. Then Silk Road announces a 420 sale, and Tony76 signed up for the promotion, offering big discounts. A few days before the 420 sale, Tony76 claimed a rival seller was threatening him. They would set up sham accounts to defraud his business, meaning Tony would have no way of knowing which orders were real, and he would lose a ton of money. Tony76 asks his buyers to finalize their purchases early, and they did. 420 came and went, and no one received their stock from Tony76. And to this date, he has not been found. It's estimated that he took about 250,000 in orders for 420, and with Bitcoin being worth about $5 at the time, that would amount to 50,000 Bitcoin, or about $1.4 billion.
$1.4 billion. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. We are having technical issues. My camera doesn't seem to want to work, but I can play videos, and the microphone is working. So we're gonna limp along with what we have, and try to do the best we can possibly do under the circumstances. So yeah, 420. Which is, like I said, Pothead Christmas, was an excuse for somebody to cash out early. The website called the Silk Road was a website envisioned and run by this guy named Ross something or other, and the feds. He was going to sell anything. He'd like anything you wanted, drugs, weapons, human beings, anything, like anything was going to be for sale on this website, and it was going to be paid for by Bitcoin. And the feds came down on him like a ton of bricks. And James, my camera works. My camera works. So wait a minute. If my camera works, I have turned it on. All I see from my end is a green screen. So if you could see me, that's fine. You could see me. But I'm looking at the feedback that my phone is giving me, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was panicking. But if you're telling me my camera is working, then I will believe you. And I don't need to see myself. I see myself enough. Wow. Now the all right. Let's see what's going on in the comments. How many fingers? Yeah, I can't see. Here, look at this. How many fingers am I holding up? How many fingers? Somebody type in the chat. I don't understand why my camera would broadcast, but it wouldn't show me. Unless maybe it's an issue with the StreamYard. Okay, you're right. The manlet, correct. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart. Also, the camera is working. All right, then. So I'm psyching myself out. I was just psyching myself out because on my end, all I see is a flat green screen. And so I'm like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? I don't know what I've done wrong. I haven't changed anything. And maybe it's a software issue on StreamYard's part. But so anyway, where are we at? Okay, because now I got to now I'm going to try and refine the groove. I'm going to try and refine the groove. But we got a couple of new faces today. We got Robert Breedlove, who makes some good points. Although Breedlove he's a social media influencer. He's a ponytail guy, and I never really liked ponytail guys. They just seem untrustworthy. And Breedlove, I don't know what it was. He was like trading Bitcoin using leverage and whatever. And I think he went broke. And then he ended up becoming a shit corner for a while. And that didn't work out for him either. So now he's like trying to crawl back into the good graces of us toxic Bitcoin maximalists. But he's a good looking and articulate guy. And he makes sense in this clip. It's about 58 seconds. And it will help clarify your thinking.
Money is power. Obviously, money gives you a certain influence or authority over others. It's what it does. It stores purchasing power. So you've rendered favors to the market, to other people. You can then use that money to redeem favors from other people. So there's a certain level of authority that money gives you. When you get into the history of money and how assets monetize, you realize that proof of work is a very necessary component of sound money. If money is an instrument that can be used to acquire goods and services that require work to produce, it makes sense that the money that emerges in the market also requires work to produce. Otherwise, if it didn't, you could just produce the money that cost you nothing to acquire the goods and services that cost other people something, and you could steal from them. And it's core to Bitcoin's value proposition that it does require energy expenditure, which is the only way in a thermodynamic universe to secure the supply integrity of a money. It's how gold works, and it's how Bitcoin works.
So Breedlove making very good points that if it doesn't take any work to create the money and you create money from nothing, you get to steal things that took work to create. Buildings, shipyards, food, all of this sort of stuff requires intensive work to create a skyscraper, to farm 1 million cows and turn them into hamburger and baseball gloves and glue or whatever else they turn cows into. You're essentially stealing the labor, the work of others, because the money that those in control print costs them nothing. I've shown before, whenever they want to mark up, these clips, when they want to add money, now they just print it digitally. That is, they hit a button on a computer and billions or tens of billions or $1 trillion is just created out of thin air. And with that, you're supposed to buy and sell, refined petroleum, automobiles, houses, clothing for your kids, et cetera, et cetera. It costs them nothing to produce, but in your life, you have to perform services or provide goods of value to others in order to get. So that's how they steal from you. And they will continue to steal from you for as long as they can until they're stopped. They have to be stopped. Who are they? I saw this clip that, I don't know, I was looking at just YouTube searching central banking, and there was this young, young kid who is very, very much, when I say young kid, remember I'm almost 60. So this kid's maybe like 25, you know what I mean? But he's asking the right question, and unfortunately the clip's only 17 seconds long, so I don't know what he said after this, but it's a short clip, and it shows that, and I'm not even sure that this kid's a Bitcoiner. He just understands that that the red team, blue team is bullshit.
I find it absolutely hilarious when people are like, Trump versus Biden or this person versus, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. They're not the people who make the decisions anyways. Yeah. It's the people who control the money. Yeah. And the people who control the money are the central banks. Yeah. And guess who owns the central banks? Because it's not the government.
Guess who owns the central banks? And then they end it there. They don't say who owns the central banks. Why? Why wouldn't you want to say that? I don't understand. So there's actually a book called The History of Central Banking. This is another clip, about 29 seconds. This is some college professor type dude. He's not like me. He's got a suit on. He's got a beard. He's got a little cool little microphone thing. He's got a projector behind him with, some sort of slideshow going on. Much more authoritative than yours truly.
So when you get a book that's banned, that means there's something in there that you need to know. So this book is called History of Central Banking. What does Hitler, JFK, Lincoln, Gaddafi, Napoleon, Julius Caesar, Tsar Nicholas II have in common? They all tried to do state banking and they all got either killed or thrown into a war.
So that's an interesting book. It's a little hard to find. But if you scratch around, you might find it on used on Amazon or some other maybe Goodreads or something like that. But understand that when you get in between the thieves and their money, they're going to kill you. You know what I mean? And that's obviously it's an easy thing for people today to think about while you're walking down the street and some fucking, you know, some impoverished good boy from the wrong side of the tracks, you know, pulls a gun on you and says, "Give me your wallet." And people understand that, right? And that's sort of the simplest, most crude level. But the history of central banking, what that book is talking about, is that groups of people throughout history have gotten together to steal all the wealth that a nation produces and run everything, which is the way things are run today. And anyone that stands up to them, and he lists them, JFK, Gaddafi, Hitler, you know, Caesar, Tsar Nicholas, they all tried to issue state-issued currency, tried state-issued banking, and they were either wiped off the face of the earth or somebody popped a melon while they were driving in a convertible through Texas, right, through Dallas. So that's what you're up against. Showing the Netflix thing about MH370, that's what you're up against. You're up against, you know, a murder cult that is looking to steal everything from everyone, everywhere, forever. And when you really understand that, you think, man, I don't want to play along with this. I stop this. How do I get off? And the way I get off, the way I stop this, and other people stop this, is to buy Bitcoin, to not use their money and their little paper receipts. And I don't care if they're US dollars or euros or rubles or whatever the fuck. They're all issued by the same people, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all stealing. Jackie did look hot climbing all over the trunk of that limo. Wow, that's a bizarre. That's quite a bizarre statement, man. Like to say that, you know, a woman trying to put her husband's brains back in his skull excited you in a romantic fashion. That's a unique take. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. But maybe you're just a weirdo that likes cars and girls. Maybe you're like a cars and girls guy. Don't know. What do we got? All right, let's go. Let's stay with the world of secrets and stuff. This next video I got is this chick. Her name is Whitney Webb. You might have heard of her. You might not have heard of her. She's young, pretty girl, redhead, who lives outside the United States. I think she was living in South America. As last I remember, she was on Twitter for a bit and other platforms. She writes about spook stuff. She always writes about like the CIA, the NSA, the Russian secret services. She never writes about the Mossad, of course. So, you know, and a lot of people have said that basically she works for either NSA or CIA. She's something of a honeypot. You know what I mean? She does journalism, and I don't know that she said anything that's particularly controversial or unique or unknown. But here's one of the things. Oh, that's what I realize what I got rid of. Oh, that sucks. All right, let's go with Whitney Webb and listen to what Whitney has to say.
This is a pre-planned crisis, and their main tool is fear. What we could see could be truly unprecedented stuff, like efforts to completely illegalize the use of Bitcoin as a currency. Now, would that actually be able to work? It depends on how they do it, and it depends on how successful this dragnet of surveillance and this effort to completely upend privacy, you know, how it actually goes. I do really like the ethos of a lot of Bitcoiners, because they really are at the frontier of fighting a lot of these encroachments on basically what is the end of privacy for Americans. 2008 was an economic crisis, but it wasn't exactly a complete economic collapse. That is really the paradigm we are facing, and I definitely think they want to make it extreme enough where people will willingly take the CBDC option or be scared enough to give away more of their freedoms for a feeling of greater security. And we have very few freedoms left to take.
So that's Whitney Webb. Whether you think she's just some rich girl who's boldly taking on, the U.S. intel agencies, or you think that she's a limited hangout herself, that she's a paid propagandist. But the idea that she thinks that they could ban Bitcoin, she obviously doesn't understand Bitcoin the way she pretends to. If you think you can stop Bitcoin with some sort of weirdo surveillance technology, you are profoundly wrong. But she does predict, some sort of economic collapse coming. You hear this again and again and again. And this was actually, I just re-uploaded this video, which is a short 30-second video that I shot myself. There's a billboard on the New Jersey Turnpike that talks about the same thing, oddly. And when I start seeing the same message over and over from different corners and different quarters, it always sticks in my head. Plus, I spend a lot of time on public roadways. I see a lot of billboards, and this one's absolutely unique.
World monetary crash. This is a billboard on the New Jersey Turnpike, and interesting. I don't know who's behind it, but it's got looks like Virgin Mary and a mushroom cloud, and interesting billboard. The only one I've seen about it, but kind of interesting.
So there it is. The billboard has the Virgin Mary and a mushroom cloud, world monetary crash. And they what is it? TLD, not TLD, I don't know what the hell it's in underneath there. .com. You go to the website, and there's some woman who lives in Bayside, Queens, which is a nice section of Queens. It's right in the border of Nassau County on Long Island. So it's in a nicer, it's as far away as you get from New York City and still technically be within the New York City bounds. But she's like, well, you got to pray, and Jesus is going to save you, and something. And I'm like, okay, that's if you were going to pray for something, I think she's faking gay. The manlet in the chat is obviously not talking about Jackie Onassis or Jackie Kennedy. He's talking about Whitney Webb. Yeah, she strikes me as being disingenuous. She's got a tremendous amount of confidence for a girl that young. How she gets this information about what's happening in the world of spies and intelligence, is questionable. And she never reveals anything. She never says anything controversial or reveals anything that you couldn't find in like a U.S. News and World Report article. You know what I mean? If my sort of yardstick that I measure things by is, what, obviously I listen to what people are saying, but, have I heard it before? And is it a message worth repeating? And are you articulating that message in a way that is persuasive and effective? That's how I kind of judge things. So even if I've heard it before, and I think at this point I've heard just about every sort of thing that people are saying anywhere, I've kind of heard it all. And, I don't think, I think very little of most of it, because it is either incorrect because you have a flawed understandanding of how the world works. And that may be, and you can get away with that forever and ever. Like you can get away with not understanding how the world really works, and you could coast and you could go along, for decades and decades and decades before the penny drops. And if it ever does, you know what I mean? And maybe you exit this earth, lying in your bed with a peaceful smile, never understanding everything that's gone on. You know, you believe what the government tells you, and her Heidi complex is impressive. Again, Whitney was so all right. The manlet, obviously, very well acquainted with Miss Webb. Very well acquainted with Miss Webb. Not as well acquainted, I would think, with the lady from Bayside, Queens, who also predicts a monetary crash. The difference is the Bayside, Queens religious person, what you should be praying is, Jesus, give me the strength to smash up the buy button on Bitcoin and the wisdom to understand that this is the best possible future for me. That's what you should be praying for if you were going to pray. Because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Jesus may save your soul, but it's up to you to save your own ass. And an understanding of the type of people you're up against should, to be perfectly honest, turn your guts to jelly. But eventually you find, you got to find some kind of courage. You got to find some kind of will to push back and fight back. And it has to be legal, because there's nothing you're going to do in the world of kinetic violence that's going to work against these dudes. They can command people so skilled at well, listen, they make airplanes disappear, right? They can do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. And then they'll make a movie about it and they'll show it to everyone, and they'll be laughing their asses off while everyone scratches their head. How did this mystery ever come about? So, all right. So Whitney Webb thinks you can stop Bitcoin. Okay, here's a way that it's very unlikely to stop Bitcoin. This is Michael Saylor. Show this guy a lot. He's the former CEO of a company called MicroStrategy, which is still a publicly traded company. You find it on the NASDAQ. And he's done something kind of interesting. And here's a new little wrinkle to Bitcoin and the transferring Bitcoin back and forth that even the NSA with their supercomputers out in Utah are going to have trouble with.
Can you guess what this tech CEO did with his email address? Picture this, your work email but with a twist. Michael Saylor, the co-founder of MicroStrategy, just fused his email with the Bitcoin Lightning Network. What's the Lightning Network, you ask? It's a layer built on top of the Bitcoin network to enable fast, low-cost transactions. Now, Saylor can receive Bitcoin payments right to his email box through the Lightning Network. This is revolutionary. Think about it. MicroStrategy's move could show how Bitcoin really can change our everyday lives. Imagine a future where sending Bitcoin is as easy as sending an email. I think we'll see a lot more adoption as developers make it easier and easier for someone who has never used Bitcoin to get onboarded fast. Hit that follow button for more Bitcoin news and updates like this.
Okay, so I don't know if they can read every single email in real time. I'm guessing they can't. Judas Fly Chai, base Persian Muslim guy. Shalom. Yeah, Judas, you showed up late, by the way. I'm assuming you had some sort of Persian rice dish where they put the rice on top and then they flip it over. You do that flip over thing, right? You gotta put something on the pot and you flip it over like that. I've seen videos like that on YouTube. So I'm assuming you had something with an exotic name that has like rice and saffron in it. And hopefully you will accurately describe that to your fellow viewers in the chat. I, of course, have a show to run. And I know what you're saying. It's really not that much of a show, James. But listen, it is what you can get for the price, right? This is now I've completely lost. I don't even know what this clip is, but I think it's only about a minute. And let's see. I don't know. I'll make a comment on it after I see what it is, because the thumbnail is not giving me enough of a clue.
As the central bankers were flooding the economy with excess currency, the currency is trying to find a tangible asset that will hold its value as the currency debases. Bitcoin is one of those assets which is now being monetized, and it is rising through this chaos to be the apex property asset.
Bitcoin represents infinite monetary density, transportable across time and space. accessible to anyone on the planet, whether they have 500, or 500 million in any currency to save. And no government or central authority can debase it, confiscate it, or tell you what you can spend it on or who you can transact with. It's the apex form of real estate in cyberspace.
Infinite economic density, the black hole, the white dwarf of money. The only reason an investor wouldn't shift their allocation of savings from commercial real estate to Bitcoin is they don't understand Bitcoin.
They don't understand Bitcoin. So, and that's where a lot of you are, and that's where most everyone else is. I'm on a bunch of different boards, unlike, like Yahoo Finance and stuff. And anytime there's a crypto story, I always go into the comments, and the comments are profoundly ignorant. So nobody gets it yet. I don't know realistically that understanding is a necessary step to adoption, because most of you, listen, you guys don't understand how the internet works. You don't understand how electricity gets into your house. You don't understand how a TV, makes that picture. You don't understand any of that shit. You just turn on the TV and watch a TV program. You flip the switch, and the light comes on. And that's that. You don't really need to understand power generation and substations and transmission loss, and you don't you need to know none of that, right? You don't need to know the difference between AM and FM radio, right? The manlet in the chat, Persian pizza. What's Persian pizza? I've been infatuated with several ethos. I am not at all infatuated with ethos. Not really. I'm showing. I think the first video I showed was Waco, bro. Dude, I'm doing Waco for 1993. That's kind of a dark opening, if you don't think. And Robert Breedlove. Now I know what you're saying. Breedlove has a ponytail, so you think he's a girl, but he does make a good point about proof of work. In if the money you're using to transact with did not require work to get, and you get something from others, you're stealing their labor, you're stealing their goods, or you're stealing their services, and that is a system that inevitably runs to zero, right? That's in terms of unsustainable. That's as unsustainable as it can be. I'm watching the view counter go from 5 to 3. So the what's his name, Norman the Cripple and Ovi the Pedo and probably Sperm Sucker Bateman are jumping in and out, hoping I say something. But as soon as they're gone, I see that I only have like 3 viewers now. I'll be just like Jew, anti-Semitism, racism, homophobia. I want to do a verbal anti-Semitism. I want to do a whatever double ungood crime things you can do. So if I do that, okay, put my name back up there. What about my show headline? My headline, what was my headline? America's Greatest Thought Criminal. Look, I just gave myself a title. I want to try and change that every week, assuming I can come up with something clever or not. And how clever you think that is, I guess it's going to be up to you. But that is actually this week. In terms of the clips, I had so much stuff. There are weeks when I'm like, what the hell am I going to talk about? Like, I'm going to sit here for like another 45 minutes and just monologue. That's harder to do than you think it is. And curating these video clips where they're slick, they're professionally produced. A lot of them by the company Swan Bitcoin. You hear the same narrator, you see the same faces over and over, but they make the points that I would like to make, or I have made, sometimes better than I can, and I know that. Let's examine the manlet. Manlet must be obviously an unmarried dude. Let's examine the internet presence of these women further. More interesting than a loser monetary policy work. Well, that's that's probably the clearest expression that you feel absolutely powerless. You know what I mean? You're not going to do Bitcoin. I get it. Yeah, I don't care if you do it. You don't. I mean, you will eventually because you'll be starving and homeless if you don't. But you not seeing any clear way for you to win, to have success, to have to gain in any way from the current monetary system. You think, well, I'll just chase pussy. You know what I mean? I'll just get as much ass as I possibly can, and I'll take the hedonistic physical pleasure route to happiness. Generally speaking, that has not worked out real well in life for anyone because they never seem happy. And there's a bunch of limits to that you would probably care not to, you would not care to admit. But yeah, the chasing of females just to put notches on your belt is a cope. That's a cope because you have no ethnic network to plug into. You don't have a degree from an impressive school to get you into the upper 5 percentile, 10 percentile of wage earners in America. So you're like, okay, let me indulge my my sexual urges. And you're not even really doing that because you're looking at ethos. You should be, if you're going to do this, you got to go find one of those what do you call it? Confidence coaches, pickup artist guys. You got to go learn the pickup techniques. You got to go learn how to talk to women in real life in order to actually have sex with them, rather than just do your internet thing. So we got the man that I'm sure back in the comments. What asset allocation would you suggest with BCT, Bitcoin being part of it? Well, I've heard it said that you don't have to put all your money in Bitcoin, just the money you want to keep, because there's no way, right? There is no way that the central bankers come to their senses. There's no way that they go, oh my God, we're going to ruin the whole planet. Tens of millions will die. Hundreds of millions will be immiserated. Let's stop. Oh, let's not be such awful people. They're never going to fucking stop. Oh, and the two Feds are back. I just watched my fucking viewership jump. So say hi to Northern the Cripple and Obi the pedophile. The central bankers, right? The Rothschilds and the Warburgs and the Rockefellers and JP Morgan, they're never coming to their senses. They're never going to become decent, moral human beings that say, you know what, let's all play by the same set of rules. We've already got half the wealth of the planet. We'll be rich forever and ever, no matter what happens. So we can just take our foot off the gas pedal now and just coast. You know what I mean? They're never going to do that. If you think they're going to do that, you're profoundly naive and you don't understand human nature at all. So what percentage of your wealth should you save in Bitcoin? Every dollar that you want to keep. Any dollar that you don't want to keep, just let them debase it even further. Let them print more. What are the Republican dude in whatever's in Congress right now? He proposed a budget of $1.5 trillion more than we currently take in. So, doesn't matter, red team, blue team, like that guy, the kid in this clip said, Trump, Biden, red team, blue team. It's bullshit. They're both borrowing money, putting you in debt, and you're going to have to repay it while they live off government pensions, right? They're doing the work of the central bankers. They work for the central bankers. They work for the Jews and against you. So why would you want to participate at all in their system? And the reason why tonight's a bunch of these clips tonight just talked about Bitcoin as digital real estate, because we're trying to get across the idea that this is a property, and the US government views it this way. This is property that has, you pay for it once and you don't pay taxes on it. There's no maintenance, there's no upkeep. You don't have to become an Airbnb manager. You don't have to cut the grass. You don't have to pay taxes on it. You don't have to make sure that the renters or the tenants you have aren't fucking ripping out the walls. You don't have none of those headaches, right? You have none of those headaches. You have this asset that you can take anywhere, send anywhere with an email, or or sneak, a device, as big as a device as big as this freaking nail clipper can hold literally $1 billion, and you could take that across borders around the world, and no one can stop it. They wouldn't even know what it is. They won't even know what it is. You can't do that with real estate. And the thing about real estate, I think, this might be the best real estate one yet. I got one more clip, 44 seconds. Michael Saylor again, and I think he's talking about. I think they mentioned the real estate tie-in, and that might help clarify the point I'm trying to make.
In the world we live in right now, before Bitcoin, you can have $1 million in your bank account, but it's credit. The bank says you have it, and the bank can take it away from you.
Yes.
And you can only move it pursuant to their permission to move it. And right now, the bank doesn't give you an API to move money. All progress has come to a grinding halt in the financial world because credit in cyberspace is a monopoly caught up in a bureaucracy. So if we come back to Bitcoin, what is it really? It represents the true digital transformation of money, of property, of energy, of matter, the creation of $1 billion of something in cyberspace.
I thought I was going to talk more about real estate, but still, Articulate Man makes an excellent point. You're not allowed. You're only allowed to move your money, the money you worked your entire life for, right? If the bank says so. So if you will, a lot of money, you're going to keep it in the bank, right? You're not going to keep it in cash in your bedroom closet like mafia guys do. You know what I mean? Because somebody's going to come in and find it. You know what I mean? So they're going to find it and they're going to take it from you. Then you're going to be broke. But if you give it to a bank and you want to send it to somewhere they don't want you to send it to, I fail to realize that the monetary system will continue to limp along as long as they don't run out of numbers. Yeah, well, that's just it. It isn't going to. Why would you want to stick with that? That's it. Okay. Yes, the U.S. dollar will be around for probably a long time, but why would you want an ever declining quality of life? Where's my? I think I lost the Chicago one, right? I lost that Chicago. I wonder if I still have. I wonder if I still have it on my phone. This great fucking video out of Chicago. Do I still have it? Do I not have it? Shit. No, I don't. No, I don't. Fuck. It's one of the ones I deleted when I was panicking earlier on in the show. There was a great story. It was a short video clip. Gas station in Chicago. Shaniqua gets into a verbal exchange with some sort of homosexual white guy, right? And she throws some trash at him, calls him a queer, whatever, calls him a faggot. Goes into the little convenience store, comes out, and the guy's standing by her car, and she gets in her car, and he stands there by the door, like he opens the door, and she just takes off, and this dummy hangs onto the door, so he's getting dragged, and she's like through the gas pump, smashing into other cars. He obviously lets go of the door, and he doesn't get killed, but he had no idea that this was going to happen. She goes, pedal to the metal, flooring it diagonally across an intersection, strikes another car, unsurprisingly, flips her car over so it's on the roof in the middle of the intersection, right? And when it flips over on its roof, it breaks out the driver's side window. And this chick's not belted in, but sure as fuck, she comes popping out of the fucking broken window, stands up, walks around the car, and starts laughing at the top of her lungs. And you go, well, that's, Dindu's in Dindu Town. It's Chicago, America's second largest city. Oh, but I don't live there. Listen, it doesn't matter whether you live there or don't live there. That's just Tuesday in the ghetto. Things go from normal every day. You're just trying to transact your life. You're just trying to do something, put gas in your car to go to work or take the kids to school or whatever. And then a bunch of lunatics come and who knows what the fuck, who knows what could kick off. Now, the black people love living that way. It's exciting and you never know what's going to happen next. But nobody else wants to live that way. Everybody else wants wants tranquility and calm and an expectation that we're all going to follow the rules and we're all going to behave in a civilized fashion. And we're not going to drag some homosexual guy hanging onto our car through a gas station, crash into a minivan, flip our car over in the middle of the street, get out and start laughing. And this was all caught on video. And, you know, if you're saying, well, I don't live in Chicago, I don't live in New York, I don't live in Los Angeles, it's coming to you wherever you are. When the money dies, people go crazy. And this is going to get closer and closer to you, whether you like it or not. And why, if you have an opportunity now to get, you know, take the off ramp, to not go to that, not have that be your future, why would you avoid taking the off ramp? I understand you don't get it, something, you don't understand. That's why I titled tonight's show, Unfollow Me. The people who come in this chat, you think you have an argument. You don't even have an argument. You don't even, the ideas you're expressing are expressed by other people better. The manlet, born and raised in Chicago. Oh, Windy City Point. Did not know that. Just follow the white flag. Yeah, but there's this. It isn't just big cities. It's not just New York, Chicago, Philly, etc., etc. It's not just big cities. It's small cities and small towns everywhere. They will Section 8 into your lovely little suburban enclave, whatever they need to. I still travel around enough, not just up and down the 95 corridor. I go into these little towns. I pass through these towns sometimes, and there's people I see that, you know what, I would not want to see when the sun was down if I was walking on the sidewalk. And it looks as ghetto can be. There's little places you've never heard of. And that's coming everywhere. You should avoid that if you can, you know, and you can. That's why this show is for those people. It's not for people who are thinking that Trump's going to save them or Biden's going to save them or Bernie Sanders or fucking Ron DeSantis or whoever, red team, blue team. You know what I mean? You're still doing red team, blue team. You're sooner or later, you're going to realize what a mistake that is. And I would prefer you recognize that it's a mistake sooner rather than later, because you can take some effective action. You can do something to improve your fate. And is that not the whole fucking point of civilization, that we apply ourselves to improve the world around us? Build your ammo fort. Yeah, well, until we control the police, the courts, and the prisons, that ain't gonna happen. All right? You go putting pills in people with a darker skin color than you, and they're gonna put you in a special building where you could fight people with darker skin color than you all day, every day, for the rest of your fucking life. Think this one through. Let's go back to the fucking. Let's go back to the. We'll replay this. Just for manlet. Just for manlet. Here's what happens if you decide to fight back.
A 45-minute gun battle this morning took 5 lives.
More than 150 ATF agents had come here armed with search and arrest warrants.
It was not the correct decision.
In the opinion of the agents, this was done for the purpose of publicity.
The code name of this operation was Showtime.
Is there a consideration to use psychological warfare?
I don't know what psychological warfare is.
We were lied to.
Not one agent made a written report of it. That's highly irregular.
It also had many omissions, distortions, and false statements in it.
Soon, the Branch Davidian Star David flag had fluttered to the ground. They ran the ATF flag up on that flagpole.
The record from Waco does not evidence any improper motive or intent on the part of law enforcement. Government did not do that.
Joe Biden, America's current president, looked at the Waco massacre and thought the government did nothing wrong. That's the guy who is the president of the United States today. You know, so and in 1993, all they had was helicopters and tanks. Today, they still have the helicopters and tanks, but they have drones and all sorts of other things. The level of technology they can bring to bear on your little ammo fort, and the Branch Davidians had an ammo fort. When they will squash you like a fucking bug. They will squash you like a fucking bug, and then they will do a victory dance on your fucking charred corpses, like they did a victory dance on the charred corpses of those fucking children in Waco, Texas. It was 26 children burned to death. Koresh did have some real babes follow. And there you go. The man that, once again, trying to make up for his lack of height with some sort of with a numerical sexual conquest. Yeah, listen, David Koresh was a whack job, a failed rock and roll dude who became some kind of a whacked out Bible thumper, made his own cult. You know, there's enough people in this world that are looking for a guru, looking for a leader. You know, they're willing followers. You know what I mean? It's one of the arguments that the racialists used to make when people used to talk about racial politics back in the Trump era was that, you know, white people are too conformist. But what you don't understand, because you don't really understand anything, is nothing can be fucking built unless everybody cooperates. You understand? Everyone has to cooperate and everyone has to follow the rules, or there's no fucking civilization. When you look at the places where nobody cooperates and nobody follows the rules, America's ghettos, any part of Africa, you know, Asia, any part of Asia where nobody follows the rules, that's where there is no civilization. They don't have reliable electricity. They don't have clean water. They don't have safe, you know, they might not have street crime, but they have an absolutely miserable fucking quality of life. And every single one of them would flee in 2 seconds if they could, right? They have no education. They have no fucking libraries. They have no books. They have nothing. And the reason why you have nothing is because everyone has to play by the same fucking rules and everyone has to do every step correctly. If not, you know, you get, you know, people have made the argument that Japan has earthquakes, it's an island, and Haiti has earthquakes. That's also an island. But the Japanese have learned how to fucking build earthquake-proof buildings, and that's how they build them. So Japan has an earthquake, maybe 6 people die. You know what I mean? Haiti, which, you know, I'm sure they have a building code somewhere written in French, but ain't nobody following it. When Haiti has an earthquake, 250,000 people die. And the reason why is because the Japanese follow the rules and everybody does their part, and the Haitians do not follow the rules and nobody does their part because everyone's looking to get over on the next fucking guy. And the closer that comes to America, the less happy you're going to be. So you got some real estate. I hope it's in a 96% white zip. You know what I mean? James, I'm ridiculous. Think of the Boston bombing and how law enforcement failed to catch 2 jamokes for hours on end. Yeah, the feds couldn't find their ass with 2 hands and a fucking map. That's been true since a million years ago. But local law enforcement found it. It was like local cops in whatever that little town was. Local cops found them because they were robbing a 7-Eleven or something like that. That's ultimately how they were caught. The FBI swoops in at the last minute and pretends like, you know, when the kid was hiding in a boat and they shot up the boat. Did they shoot up the boat or didn't shoot up the boat? Whatever, he was hiding in a boat. You know, the feds absolutely suck, you know, but local cops will make up for the feds. You know, once again, your argument's not nearly as well thought out and not even based on recent history. Manlet, listen to me. You have to actually try to line up your facts. You know what I mean? Try to line up your facts, because I can do shit off the top of my head that people need fucking 6 weeks of study. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit of a fucking galaxy brain with this shit, and you know, there's no point in having half a fucking point if you're going to argue. But you do what you want to do. You know what I mean? If you think the federal government is incompetent, you have not been fucking paying attention. I've realized this, that these critics of the CIA are always saying, oh, the CIA failed to do this. They failed to do a coup here. They failed to do this coup. They failed to do that coup. You know what? It doesn't fucking matter because no one in Iran or Venezuela or Estonia or wherever the fuck they're doing, whatever the fuck they're doing, Kurdistan, they don't vote in American elections. They don't determine the makeup of Congress. You know what I mean? So nobody gives a shit if you lose that one. The CIA needs to control the United States, which it does absolutely from top to fucking bottom. And so that's all that matters. You must control the center of the global empire, and that is the United States, and the CIA has absolute control over this. Richard Spencer and all the other wannabes, Nick Fuentes, all these other ones, you know, they were spooks. I've proved that they're fucking spooks, you know, a dozen fucking times, a dozen fucking ways. And they did not become national figures, get on TV shows, talk to Charles Barkley, the sports ball guy, get a huge write-up in Atlantic magazine. This doesn't happen without people behind you. There is no organic fame and there's no organic wealth either. So they absolutely control this shit. You know what? They got Kanye West, who happened to notice a pattern of people screwing him over in Hollywood and in the music business, that he happened to notice that none of those people ate bacon or went to church on Sunday. And boom, out of the blue, Milo Yiannopoulos and fucking Nick Fuentes somehow glommed onto this fucking guy from two different fucking sides. Nobody else was allowed around him. And then within a week or two, he was on the Alex Jones show, dressed like fucking an Al-Qaeda terrorist, saying, I love fucking Adolf Hitler. You're telling me they're not good at their job? They're fucking great at their job. They're great at their job. When we've decided we've had enough, it will be all over. You listen, Manlet, you're just gonna what are you gonna do? Like organize all the prostitutes into a revolutionary cabal? You know what I mean? All those women that you pumped and dumped, they're gonna call them up like, hey baby, I know I didn't even send you flowers after that, but you mind helping me overthrow the government? You know, that's actually pretty funny. That would be fucking hilarious. That'd be a good idea for a movie. But yeah, it's the man that more of a comedian than possibly he knows. All right, where are we at? We're at an hour and 8 minutes. Hour 8 minutes. I don't know. The feds, half of them are gone, half of them are here. I don't know, or maybe somebody else just joined. Not entirely sure. But when I see the numbers drop on the screen, that's when I like to do. I try to remind myself, depending on what points I'm trying to get across. When I see the numbers, the live viewer numbers on the screen dip, that's when I talk about the small hats. That's when the small hats. Am I regretting? Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I regret attending Seville. Yeah, well, I lived. They didn't get me. I was just down there again. I went down there for work last week. Went down there for work, and the sucky part was the last 72 miles. It's like 72 miles after you get off you have to get off Highway 66 or something like that, which is an interstate highway. There's tons of barbecue places, but I couldn't fucking stop. I had a deadline, and which was I got there by 9:30, but you know, by the time I made my delivery and came back out onto that road, you know, this is fucking Charlottesville, Virginia. They're not open at 10 o'clock at night selling barbecue. They're closed at like 8 o'clock. So I missed out on tasty local food, and everyone knows how much I like tasty local food. Trad Dad, who occasionally leaves a comment on the video itself. A. James, indeed, liberal democracy is very well curated. Most promising fact is that they believe it requires 24/7 enforcement. Well, you know, when the enforcement is primarily keeping people focused on red team, blue team, and believing that the people that they vote for actually work for them. The Manlet in the chat. Did you see any dead whale memorials? I have dead whale memorials. I don't know. In Charlottesville, I don't get what you mean by dead whales. How that relates to Charlottesville, the Manlet. That is That is not clear to me, sir. I'm talking about barbecue joints on, I can't remember what the name of that highway is, what number that highway is. Yeah, but I was just down there again. Just down there again. That is, try to think, it was 370 miles one way and then 350 back. So long day for me. Very, very long day. So Trad gets the joke. I do not get the joke. It may be a reference to 420, or the other part of 420. All right. So to everyone watching the show, to everyone who will watch the show in the coming week, now the comments are lighting up. Heather Heyer. Oh, that is just, yeah, that's getting so fucking. Oh yeah. That was bad. That was really bad. To be honest, if I'd have gotten down there earlier, I was thinking about going to the park where the statue was and doing like a quick video. But like I said, I got down there at 9:30. There's no street lights down there. It's a little town. Like I could have found the park. I could have drove another 5 or 6 miles into town and went back to that park, but you wouldn't have fucking seen it. I was gonna do like a return to Charlottesville video, but you know, the way it worked out, I was not going to get there in time for the lighting to be correct. It would be darker. It would be darker than a Heather Heyer joke. All right, 1 hour, 13 minutes. We got to call this quits. We got to keep these tight. We got to stay focused. You know, well, next week we'll have more stuff, and hopefully I will understand that, you know, I understand that the camera works, so I will just work with this. Anyway, Trad Dad, Manlit, Judas Light Chai, Virgil Doc, Purple Heart. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. And Cantwell is out. You should have taken him with. You know, Cantwell is out. He's out of prison already. Now, that's good for him. Good for him. That's what I need. A white supremacist crybaby in the same car as me. You know what I mean? Listen, I'll just turn myself in for murder right now. He would have not have survived the trip to the first barbecue joint. Anyway, okay, this is it. 1 hour, 14 and 11 seconds. I'm hitting the outro music. I'll talk to you guys next week.